They always used to get a celebrity to turn the Christmas lights on.
Yeah.
And one year they obviously pushed the boat out a bit. And rather than it be someone off the X Factor, no one had ever heard of, someone who went out like 14th from last on the X Factor. You probably know them, Daz. But the one year they got Box Fizz in. So there were all these posters up around. It was like in the papers and all that sort of thing. And when I saw it, I went, so it's not Bucks Fizz then, it's The Fizz. And they went, no, it's Bucks Fizz. And I went, Cheryl Baker's not in Bucks Fizz. She's in The Fizz.
David Van Day spin-off?
No, it wasn't. It was the original Bucks Fizz, the one that's only got one original member.
Right, yeah.
It was that.
So they were right one.
The one, essentially, they've never stopped.
Yeah.
So it was, rather than it be Cheryl Baker and Jay Aston and Barry Venison, it was the other ones, but they were advertising it as being Cheryl Baker and all that kind of thing.
Fraud.
Surprisingly, that loads of people were really disappointed.
Why?
I don't know. I'm guessing they wanted the one that was most of the people who won Eurovision.
They all wanted Cheryl Baker, didn't they?
Yeah, essentially you want Cheryl Baker.
Review of last week's games.
Okay, last week's game started Thursday night. One of the games of the season, I thought. Buccaneers at Falcons, and incredible Kirko.
Yeah, amazing.
Doing it when it matters.
I can see why you've got a hard-on for Cousins.
Why not? He fully deserved of a hard-on.
Yeah.
It was a great game anyway. But the Bucks kind of fucked that up. No way should the Falcons have been in a position to do it, but they've went through. When Kirko got intercepted when they were 27-30 down, I think, and there's about a minute left, something like that. The game should be over then. You can't lose from that position. But somehow the Buccaneers managed it.
Yeah, it's a strange one, isn't it?
They turned it over. They had enough time to get down into field goal range, hit the field goal, and then win it in overtime. But you can't fault the finish from the Falcons. So superb.
That's what he's good at, isn't he? We talk about him every week, about Kirk Cousins in the fourth quarter and what he can do. You know, we know what he can do in fourth quarter. You just don't give him the opportunity. No matter which team you are, Kirk Cousins will do that to you.
It was the Eagles game again, wasn't it? From a couple of weeks ago.
All over again, yeah.
Exactly the same game. And, you give him time on the clock, couple of timeouts, let him do his thing. And like I've always said, half the season, he's an MVP.
Yeah.
He plays at that level for half a season. It's but can we talk about that last play they did, which is one of the riskiest plays I've seen, just to set up the field goal. I think there's 12 seconds. They need to run a play, complete it, get back into formation, spike it.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
That was fucking regimented, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was so well done.
Absolutely.
As soon as I saw what they were trying to do, I went, this is like Dallas in the playoffs. They're not going to have enough time to do this. I wouldn't know exactly what they were doing. It helped them, I think, that the Bucks took a timeout to give them time to plan it. But
that was I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, I thought that was fine. I thought they need the timeout more than you do. Why are you taking a timeout? But yeah, either way, that is, you see so many teams fuck that up. But yeah, that was absolutely like they've been practicing that all week. They go, if we're in this situation and we've got exactly 11 seconds to do this play.
But you mentioned him about being like MVP performance, and it was an MVP performance. But what is an MVP performance? Because, and I'm going to give you an example. Like he threw for over 500 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah, he got intercepted, he got sacked a few times, but 42 of 58. He's found so many receivers. He played really well, Kirk Cousins.
And another thing that I think may be a recurring theme through this week's games is overcautious play by the Buccaneers in the end cost them. And I think there might be 3 or 4 teams this week who have lost due to their own overcautious approach.
I can think of one that lost because of their undercautious approach.
Inability to finish games.
What about Panthers at best? After that brief Dolto resurgence, the Panthers have gone back to being the Panthers, haven't they?
Yeah,
They're done, aren't they? Now they've had the 1-2 good games finished.
Yeah, the red juggernaut, as he's known. You know, he's had his moment in the sun and he's got burnt.
we did kind of predict it, didn't we? You know, you come in for that one game, and to be fair, he looked good in that first play, but shocking.
We did say he had nothing to lose in that game, did he? All of a sudden, he's now getting compared against that game, and everyone's going, "Yeah, that was a one-off."
I mean, I will give him a bit of credit because he was up against a very good Bears defense, which probably made him look a lot worse. They managed to get sort of loads of pressure on him, and he just shit himself, didn't he? But
yeah, it's the Panthers only they got Chuba Hubbard, who got a couple of huge runs.
Yeah,
which was I think in 2 of his runs were half of their total offense that day.
That says it all.
Yeah, it wasn't great from them, but Bears are increasingly impressive.
Yeah, they've been on the right sort of trajectory, haven't they? You can't probably read a lot into this result because it's the Panthers at the end of the day, but
yeah.
You can see Williams' progression as he's gone on from the start of the season. He's looking a lot more comfortable. I think he had more 30-yard attempts than he has in all the first four games. I think I've got that right. So he's getting used to the plays, and he's sort of growing in confidence. So yeah, I thought it was a good win.
Yeah, what they've done, Chicago, is taken the ethos from Washington. Is where Washington took 2 games before.
Hang on a second. Can we just wait for the klaxon sound effect to finish?
Okay, so for the two games that we opened up with our quarterback Daniels, they just give him easy dunk and dives, but then expanded the playbook. So I just feel the Bears have taken 3-4 games to give that to Williams, but he played well, Williams, against a poor Panthers team. But you can't argue with stats of over 300 yards, 20-29, 2 touchdowns, only 1 sack, 34 on the floor. I think he's getting better. He's learning the system more. He's learning who to trust throw to. I think you'll see him getting better. And I think I won't be surprised if these numbers aren't now reflective of what he goes on and does in the future for this season.
Okay, a quite bonkers game in Cincinnati. The Ravens won it 41-38. This is what I meant when I said earlier about teams being overly negative. Bengals with a 2-score lead suddenly stopped doing what's been working a treat all game and essentially gift the Ravens a route back into it.
Left the door open and in the walks.
Why would you change it? It was working all day.
Yeah. Listen,
how many
you've got Jamar
yards?
Chase.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase,
how many yards did he get? He absolutely tore it up.
193 yards, 2 touchdowns.
I
Absolutely ripped it up. Did Chase. Higgins got 83 yards and 2 touchdowns. They're passing all over the Ravens, and all of a sudden, hey, let's change what we're doing.
And also, they did it 2 possessions in a row.
Yeah,
as well. It's all you got to do is go. We're fucking killing it passing today. Let's keep that going for the next 6 minutes or something. There was 6 minutes left. Their 10-point lead was 6 minutes left, and they just suddenly went, no, run, punt, run, punt.
Why do teams do that? I don't understand it.
Particularly when their defense is shit.
Yeah. They know that Bengals' problem is the defense. Massive. They can score. They score 30-odd points. But if
they've got 140 points this season in 5 games. So they're averaging 28 points. They're averaging 28 points a game.
Is that the Bengals?
Yeah. They've won 1.
Never have said that. Yeah. Well, that's a pretty clear indication as to where the trouble lies, then.
Just want to say as well that Derrick Henry did, I'd say, probably next to nothing until that final run in overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking that they'd shut him down pretty well. But then again, he can do that.
Yeah.
It felt a bit grindy along the way, but there was a stat. I'm just trying to find it now. I think Baltimore outran or have outran their opponents by over 100 yards in all 5 of their games, which it didn't feel like that watching for the Bengals match.
No, but you can understand why, can't you, when they've got Derrick Henry who will carry it all day. They've got Lamar Jackson. They're a bit like Washington, because Washington, they'll have Daniels, he'll run it. It's the same thing, and we'll have our 3 running backs also adding the yardage, but that's what you get with the rushing yards are inflated due to the quarterback's tendency to run. So, yeah, I get that.
But the Bengals didn't need to run it because
they didn't.
They were passing it, and it was a success every time. So
Joe Burrows looked really good, didn't he?
Well, there's no issue whatsoever on their offense. Let's talk about an absolute shit show, though. Dolphins at Patriots. We all said this was going to be shit, and it was. 15-10. I was going to say defense is on top, but defense is barely troubled, I think, in this game. I was just very surprised when there was a touchdown. It just didn't seem like it was going to happen ever. These two teams can play each other all day and go, yeah nothing's going to happen on offense.
I didn't see this one. I've not even seen the highlights. But from the sounds of it, I don't think I'm missing anything there.
On YouTube, the NFL official highlights.
Yeah.
How did they manage to get 15 minutes out of this?
I was going to say, I couldn't even be bothered to spend 15 minutes of my day to watch it when I saw it.
It was absolutely fucking...
Another injury concern, again, they do have the fair share of injuries. And
Achan,
he's got ruled out because of concussion. It seems to be all the rage in Miami. Brissett got beat up against the Miami.
Don't put Drake Maye in yet. Not when your quarterback's getting beaten up.
Because you could just lose him and that's it. So Brissett's just the guinea pig this year, just the whipping boy.
But what would be so bad that Mayo would deservedly get fired? Because I reckon they're a 3-win team.
Yeah, when Brissett gets injured and gets carted off the field.
Because
okay, what about that then? So Brissett gets carted off.
Zero expectation. Yeah, but that's not on the coach, is it?
No. But he gets carted off, injured, and it's going to happen. Is Brissett? He's getting hit and he's getting it hard. May comes on, and same things happens to May, and you've lost your number 3 or whatever pick they were quarterback, and they ended up with even worse, and he's out for a year.
They end up with Mitch Trubisky.
Well, exactly.
Backed up by Josh Johnson for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Josh Johnson flying in.
Talking of very poor teams, Cleveland Browns. They're 1-4. Can anyone remember who they beat?
I'm going to have a wild guess and say the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think it was. I think they lose to the Cowboys. I'm just trying to think. They've definitely got one win.
And it wasn't against the Cowboys?
The Jacksonville Jaguars in week 2.
Ah, okay.
With a massive 18-13 victory.
That was it. Okay. Yeah, they're a bad side. I know you want to talk about the Commanders, but we may have talked about them quite a lot recently. So let's just talk about how bad the Browns are.
What do you mean we?
You
two won't talk about Washington.
We haven't had a fucking chance.
Can't get a word in.
Okay,
but
so
the thing about the Browns is their offense just isn't working this year. And if the defense doesn't play up to the same standard as previous years, which it doesn't appear to be, they're a very, very poor team.
But it was a case of the offense looks like they do not play at all for Deshaun Watson. The commentary picked it up saying everything he does is out of the shotgun. Everything he does is out of the shotgun. He doesn't know how to read a game. He's struggling. I cannot see even a backup role for Deshaun Watson next season. I know he's got a lot of cap, but they've got to cut him now and just say we've got to move on, even if it is with Winston. I don't mean Professor Robert Winston, but if they start with Winston,
it would have been odd if he did mean him.
Can you imagine that? Would be brilliant, wouldn't it? But Deshaun Watson sacked 7 times, and they were awful defensive-wise. I know they conceded 34 points, and what they've done, they've come into Washington and thought, there's a young quarterback. They're going to play man. They're going to blitz, and for the first couple of drives, worked really well. Jaden Daniels couldn't get his rhythm going. We couldn't get the running going. I thought, oh, this is going to be a tough game. But they just did the same play time and time and time again. And I thought, oh, this is easy. We'll just pass here. We'll just pass there. Run out here. And we just ground them down. And, of course, they had nothing. Then, of course, with 10 minutes to go in fourth quarter, we decided to pull out Jaden Daniels and bring in Marcus Mariota, who made the world of difference. 1 of 3 for -2 yards.
That's good for him, isn't it?
Yeah, and he's running
You got to admire his consistency throughout his career.
Yeah, can I just give you some stats, by the way, about Washington? This is research, this, boys. Edgy, wake up.
Right.
So yeah, and that's it. So yeah.
I will say that I think if I'm right in saying that,
I'm just wondering what incidental music I've played over that.
Washington on now, if I'm right, have got the highest average points per game.
Yeah.
For the league, which is a good stat to have. Yeah, Brian brings up a good point. He actually put this in.
Seems unlikely
in the Discord. Well, yeah. One to keep in mind: don't want to piss on the Commanders' parade too much. Every team the Commanders have beaten this season is either 1-4 or 1-3. You know,
and I replied to that as I just did.
Fuck off, Brian.
Yeah.
You can only beat what's in front of you. Yes, I know, but you know, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But you come back to Brian's point, you've not really played anybody yet. If you're still having these sorts of figures after, let's say, 8 or 9 games,
but I cannot see that happening, to be fair. But what we'll say, and I promised Callum I would say this, defensively, I know we're playing Deshaun Watson, I know we're playing the Browns, who aren't right good, but we were excellent. For the 2 weeks running, we were excellent on defense. And it was almost unbelievable with Frankie Louvu.
Do you work for the News of the World?
Well
done.
I mean, that just had to be done. Jesus Christ. Fucking hell. I'm just going to go and open a fucking window. Okay. Another decent game was Colts at Jags, separated by 3 points due to a last-second 59-yard field goal. Yeah, the Jags snuck this one. Looked like they were going to blow it for a while, didn't it? Because they were in control of this, as we mentioned before. A more negative play, trying to hold on to a lead. Crazy. And they're the one team, I think, who got away with it. All the other teams ended up losing, but the Jags just about got away with it. But their offense looked great. Their offense looked great for the first time this season.
Yeah. It looked as though they had the right pieces working in the right holes, as it were.
Maybe, or I think they might still be rubbish and the Colts were just worse. True. I think there might be a bit about that as well.
I think Colts are becoming one of those teams you can't rely on.
Yeah, they've been on, because they had their previous divisional game was against the Texans, and that went to the wire as well, and they lost that. But the Texans are a much better team than the Jags. And for the Colts to essentially lose both games, you watch them against the Texans and go, this team will annihilate the Jags, but they didn't. First half in particular, they were fucking rotten. Good
running game by the Jags, by the way. Bigsby, played really well. 101 yards in the bank, 2 touchdowns.
Kirk showed up as well, which he's another hit and miss player. He blows hot and cold. Yeah, a lot of wide receivers like him, but this was one of his good days. All right, one that we all thought was going to be close, and it was Bills at Texans. This is a good game. This was very close.
I'll say that. What the fuck were they thinking? Because that last, I mean, even I was screaming, "What the fuck are you doing?" Is that arrogance? Is that overconfidence?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure who
We
came up
called
with
it.
that. You'd think they're in the position where Josh Allen's calling it, but that's such a fucking dumb thing to do.
Yeah, given his experience,
He must
could
know
be.
that's a shit thing to do.
Yeah.
He's been around long enough to know that that's a shit thing to do.
So he's either being steered wrong, or he's just got shit for brains, or just wanted the glory.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. I say there's this thing on a guy called Jaguar Gate has a YouTube channel where he has this dumb decisions section where it's essentially he goes through the games and he says, "Are you smarter than an NFL head coach?" But and it's not like revisionism; it's things that seem like shit ideas at the time. And yeah, this one obviously was on there. Because the Colts have been disappointing, I think the Texans are going to end up romping this division.
Yeah. They're
going to win it with like 4 games left or something.
I think even with Bills losing this one, it makes no difference in such a bad division where every other team tries the best to lose. So they're obviously nowhere near out of it at the minute. Bills, they can afford to lose more.
I still think that the Bills are in the first 5 weeks. They've lost the last 2, but they don't look like they're going to fall to pieces. Raiders at Broncos.
Good game.
It was quite an entertaining game, wasn't it?
It was a good game.
Are these 2 bad teams who just happened to put on an entertaining match? I think that might be the case here.
Yeah. I'm so happy for Bo Nix as well to actually get over 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. I'm not saying he's a real deal because he's just going to be...
No, he still looks kind of rubbish.
Yeah, he does. He's going to be no better than average, I don't think. You can't see any progression in him, but he held it together, didn't throw an interception or anything. And for once, he's not showing any negativity on any side. He ran 8 times, 9 yards. It's usually like 8 carries for
usually minus one per carry.
Right, yeah. And usually Bo Nix half-time stats is like something like 11 of 18 for 8 yards or something. Yeah, minus 18 yards.
Well, maybe they can. I didn't watch that much of it. I only saw it on Red Zone, so I was only seeing like the big plays. But I don't know if he was still doing 15 screen passes throughout the game, none of which worked. But it could well be that Sean Payton saw that and went, actually, this is a really bad idea, and has cut that out. But it seems to have taken a year and a half for him to do that, if that's the case.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, I think it's just be a nice, steady, no frills quarterback, Bo Nix, and he'll do.
He might do okay. He might do okay, but he still doesn't look starting QB level for me.
No.
What I've been impressed by the Broncos is their defense. Every single week, their defense is looking stronger and stronger. I've gone for them in my fantasy team last year. Got me 38 points.
They've probably got one of the league's best corners as well. Patrick Surtain Jr., 2 interceptions.
He took one all the way, didn't he? Took one all the way back.
A touchdown, yeah. He's such a good cornerback. So was his dad, by the way, when he played for the Dolphins back in the day.
Back in your day, yeah.
Yeah, can you not remember him?
No, before my time.
Yeah, great. Good corner. Just as good.
There was a lot of talk that they might, knowing how good he was, they might actually trade him away because they're in rebuild mode. That they might have traded him and got a shitload for him. And
I was hoping Washington would go for him because we're desperate for a defensive back. He'd been perfect, but he's probably too much.
Yeah, and I think that's what they thought. They go, well, he's only been in the league a couple of years. He could play another 10 years.
Yeah,
and he could be that guy for the Broncos. So I think they took the upside and went, no, we're keeping him. We're going to have one superstar on this team.
Yeah, and that's good for Denver's future as well because he's a star defensive back. Breaking news.
Oh, breaking news.
Oh, go on.
Drake Maye will make his first NFL start Sunday for the Patriots. He replaced Jacoby Brissett as the Patriots starter. As coach Jared Mayo makes a move for the number 3 overall choice in the NFL draft. The quarterbacks have been informed of the move, source confirms. Now, I don't think it's Source Gardner. So that'll be interesting. Not the right time for him to come in. But if this is the pressure Mayo's under now, he's got to put him in. This is his last throw of the dice now.
No, I've never heard.
He's going to get killed. He's
Yeah.
going to get killed.
I've never heard of this dude, so that would tell me he's not very good.
Who's
Drake
that?
Maye.
Yeah,
No, he's number 3 overall pick. He's their new quarterback, but the Patriots' offensive line is dog shit.
Yeah.
3
Right.
overall pick this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Right. And so he hasn't been starting because he's going to get flattened if he starts. So why
Right.
would you put your first pick, number 3 overall, why would you put there to just get flattened every week?
The
So that's
Bryce
why
Young effect.
that's why they've started with Jacoby Brissett. So after a few games of them looking absolutely shit and their quarterback getting flattened every week, they've decided to put the rookie quarterback into that situation.
Right.
And this tells you the situation of the head coach. The head coach is massively under fire in Patriots. We have no expectations what the Patriots are going to do well this season. No one's got any illusions that they're going to be brilliant. They're not going to be brilliant. But Mayo, I think, is feeling for his job. He's got a number 3 overall pick sat there on the bench. He's got to have a look what he's like. Coming out of the out of camp as well, out of the training thing that they do, they are saying, Camp Walter, not Camp Walter. Drake Maye is not ready for the NFL. This is what's coming out of the Patriots locker room as well. He's not ready. And
he probably is ready, but he's not ready to go into that situation.
Yeah.
Behind that O line,
this could ruin his career.
This could Bryce Young him.
Yeah, that's what I was. Definitely comparisons to be drawn.
Yeah, Edgy said that just a little bit. You did, yeah. Bryce Young him, yeah.
It's I don't know. I think I've been watching those first few games, thinking what a great decision it was for the Patriots to have Jacoby Brissett in instead. And to then have made the right decision for the first 5 weeks of the season to then do this, it makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Yeah, and Jacoby Brissett has come out and said, "Thank fuck for that."
Okay, Cardinals at 49ers. Shock result. Cardinals 24-23. Turned around with 2 late touchdowns.
Yeah, imagine going to bed at half time thinking this game's over.
Well, it's a very late finish. So you've got to be in bed by 9:30. Otherwise, you're not going to get your full 12 hours, are you?
But I don't understand it because you just think there's no way back for the Cardinals, especially how it happened as well, because I think they charged a kick down and went and scored, didn't they? A touchdown. Yeah. And you think after that, but to be fair to the Cardinals, they did get the ball and kept driving on what looked a really poor defense at 49ers at times.
Something's not clicking with their defenses yet.
No, is it?
Add that, still missing CMC, obviously.
Yeah.
But, the defense just hasn't been as good, which is why all the shouts were immediately for the return of Robert Salah to be DC as soon as it was announced that he was leaving the Jets. So there's something not right, but they're still going to be too good. I think.
Of course.
It's just weird that they're losing these close games that they should be winning, where they're in positions to win it. It was the same with the Rams game they lost. It's almost identical to the Rams game.
That looked a nasty injury as well to Mooney, the kicker, when he went to tackle. It looked like he went over on his ankle or his shin. They're putting down as a high ankle sprain, but did look painful. That just backs him up.
That definitely affected the game, man, because I didn't watch all of it, but there were several occasions where they could have kicked a field goal, but then decided to play on at 4-1.
The weird thing is, you know who their backup kicker is?
Oh, yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And obviously he's not there, so that Wiskowski came on. And good to see Ayuk actually turning up after signing a decent contract. 147 yards.
Is it a coincidence that this is week 5 and it's exactly 4 weeks after the 4 weeks of training he sat out due to the contract dispute?
Yeah, possibly. Very little for Debo, I thought, this week.
Is he still feeling his way back, though?
He must be. Honestly, it must be.
All right, just mention them. Another team who beat the 49ers this year, the Rams. They narrowly lost at home to the Packers. I feel sorry for the Rams. They're 1-4, and I think they've been pretty good despite being decimated by injuries. But yeah, the Packers look strong.
The Rams are on bye this week, aren't they? So I think with their battered,
yeah, they shouldn't lose anyone else this week.
Well, you hope not. But yeah, another week, it could have been a very different score altogether. But yeah, Green Bay did look good.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel bad for the Rams, but I kind of like their spirit this year. They've 3 of the games they've lost, they should have been out of sight behind in it, but they've made it all really close games, and they're a tough team. It's just that everything's just going against them in terms of injuries.
Jordan Love's come back, his second game from injury, unspectacular, steady, I think, and he'll get better.
He will get better.
He'll get better. So yeah, for the Packers, I think they'll just cause strength to strength as long as he's fit. Jacobs had a good game.
Back to Jaden Reed. So with Dobbs being out, Jaden Reed took over, I think, and he had 4 catches for 78 yards and 2 runs for 19 yards. He was the 6th player in NFL history to put up 400 receiving yards and 100 rushing yards in the first 5 games of the season. So that's gone under the radar. I don't think I'd...
No, that's a good... I like that, Edgy. That's a good one.
I like it that they've got an array of receivers at the Packers. They've got no actual superstars really, but they're all good and they're all quite young, which means that the core of that team could be together for a long time.
And it works well, doesn't it, with a young quarterback, a young team? They grow up together. Yeah, I think it does bode well for the Packers. I think they've got a really good head coach as well, by the way, Packers.
Edgy's favourite, Daniel Jones, his New York Giants won at the Seahawks 29-20.
Did not pick them either. I feel gutted that I'm going against.
They've won 2 games this year, and they're both the games that you've not backed them in.
Yeah.
Do you think it's fair to say did that win sort of finally turn the corner for them?
I don't think so. I think they're still a bad team, and it's just Seattle were shit.
They were terrible. Seattle
were poor. Yeah. Which, given Seattle's sort of start to the season, where they were, I think we'd said many times, they were just super consistent both sides of the ball. I saw none of that this week. Really poor. But with Neighbours being out, I think everyone assumed it was just going to be a real uphill battle for them. But who was the young guy that came in? Slayton, was it?
Right, Slayton, I picked him up on the waivers because I knew Neighbours was going to miss it. And I thought, it was a good pick-up that for me. I think that.
Last game of the weekend, Saints at Chiefs. All right, I'll talk about it a bit because
he's only going to edit it out anyway, isn't he? So
I do want to say, I edited out a Steelers win the other week because there was nothing of note that happened in it.
Well,
it was such a terrible game. But all right, so yeah, Cowboys 20, Steelers 17. This is the one that really annoyed me. What with us kind of giving them 80 yards to play into when they have to score a touchdown, and yet we've gone fine, get into field goal range if you want, giving them all the space in the world to march down the field. Once you've done that, you're leaving yourself open to giving them the 7 points that they need. I can't criticize our defense too often, but he got it badly wrong on that final drive. We've been shutting them down most of that game. You play the same way that you've been playing all game, and what you did, you gave them the chance to win, and they won. And it's annoying, not just because it's Dallas. It's annoying, but it feels like that's one that we've thrown away. Colts beat us due to us being shit against the Colts, but this felt like one that we've thrown away. Yeah, but yeah, so this one, I found pretty annoying because we got into the position where we win this game. 9 times out of 10, we see that game out, and for some reason, we dropped too deep, gave them too many easy first downs on that final drive, and yeah, they punished us for it, and it's our fault that happened. 55 minutes, defense was fantastic again. Overall, it's just that final drive we shot ourselves in the foot, and it's annoying.
Yeah, it was a good day for my rookie, but all will be revealed a little bit later.
Okay, and I've got a stat for the final game of the weekend.
Ooh.
Saints at Chiefs. Obviously, the Chiefs won again. The Chiefs won for the 11th game in a row, but for the first time in all of those 11 games, they won by more than one score. 26-13, they were now winners.
Now, I did watch this one.
Yeah, this felt like game over as soon as they scored that first touchdown.
Yeah. I think New Orleans were poor, but Kansas seemed... The score probably doesn't do the performance justice, I don't think. But,
Chiefs were coasting, from what I could tell. They were coasting all the way through.
Their defense as well, that Chris Jones is an absolute huge unit. He's superb.
Well, he did the best thing last year, start of last season, where he sat out in a contract dispute the opening game, and they lost without him. And all of a sudden, that contract was sorted.
I bet it was on his desk ASAP. But there was a lot of sort of talk over, well, with the injuries and whatnot. Rashee Rice is gone. We've got all these wide receivers that we don't know whether they're any good. And it seemed to be that his way to get around that problem was just not to throw to him. Because I think of his first 8 attempts, they all went to tight ends. Obviously, Kelsey came back a bit with his receptions, which won you.
Yeah, he had 10 targets. No, caught 9 of them for 70 yards, but not a passing touchdown though, Edgy, from Mahomes.
Random rookie roulette. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Random rookie roulette. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Random rookie roulette.
Shall we move on to our rookies?
Yes, please, let's do.
We might as well start with Mr. All Action himself, Ricky Pearsall, because he's at least he's consistent. Well, he isn't. He isn't consistent. Otherwise, he'd be getting shot every week.
Yeah. So I've got nothing.
Did he? Was he in the crowd?
Didn't see anything on his Instagram. Shanahan's declined to provide details, but said Pearsall is still working his way back from the wound. That was on Friday. So
is it? I mean, hopefully, he's getting on all right with his new trainers, as discussed last week.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm sure he went out for a lovely tea. No mention of him on Steve Young's Twitter either.
All right, so we'll move on to my Chop Robinson.
Oh, Chop.
Pretty consistent, 3 tackles this week in an absolute dire game against the Patriots. So,
has he recorded a sack yet?
No.
Not yet.
But he's consistently doing like 3 tackles a game, which is steady for a rookie. Yeah. So he's doing all right. But comfortably second place again this week because our leader, rookie, random rookie roulette rookie, is Dazzla. You're Peyton Wilson.
Peyton Wilson. Obviously, you'll know more about him than me, Greggles, but he seems to be quite an active part of the defense for the Steelers. 5 tackles, solo tackles, 4 assisted, a combine of 9 tackles, which is his highest total so far. Last week he played well with 6 combined, but with 9 combined this week, easily the rookie roulette of randomness. What is it called again?
Random roulette.
Oh, none of those were even nearly words.
It was a rookie roulette run. No, it was a random rookie roulette.
Random rookie roulette. Rookie of the week.
He was a winner. He was a winning rookie.
The ROTW.
Yeah.
Next week's predictions.
So predictions as it stands, me and Daz in the lead on 43, Greggles 2 behind on 41.
Yeah. We won't mention the totals for last week because they were quite embarrassing all round, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Under
So
500.
let's not dwell on those. All right.
We'll
So
bounce
week
back this
six. Week 6 is where separates the men from the boys.
Looking at these fixtures as well, I think there'll be a lot of difference in opinions on these games. A lot of 50-50s out there.
Well, as you're going first, I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, you are going first, Does still. So Thursday night football, 49ers at Seahawks.
It's got to become a time where 49ers are going to take this season serious. And I think this will be it. 49ers.
I actually gave this a lot of thought about a Seattle win because I like I said, I think 49ers aren't what people make them out to be. However, because of Seattle's performance this weekend, I think they had a good start, but you look at who they played and when they've come up against a decent quarterback, they've suffered. So I'm going to go with 49ers.
Yeah, 49ers should be better than they have been the last few weeks, but the Seahawks just got well beaten by the Giants. I can't see the Seahawks turning it on against 49ers. Jags at Bears.
Good win for the Jags last week. The Bears, I think, progressively now getting better offensively. Already good defensively. Bears offensive now clicking. I think Bears win this.
Pretty much echo everything you've just said there.
Yeah, I think despite last week, I think the Jags are a bad team.
Yeah.
I think they won't play a team playing as badly as the Colts did last week every week. So I think that was one of very few victories they'll get this week. The Bears will take this as well.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, we barely heard about them this week, but the Washington Commanders, remember them? They're playing the Baltimore Ravens, and it's a 4-1 Commanders against a 3-2 Ravens.
Well, if Commanders win this, they'll go 5-1. This will be the toughest game of Washington's season so far. Forget about the Bucs this week because that's a new team, getting used to how we play. It's all about the running power of the Ravens. But I tell you what, I can't go against my Commanders here. This will be an high-scoring game, so I'm going to go Commanders.
I'll go on Edgy, actually.
I agree that it's going to be a high-scoring game. I think that Baltimore's rushing.
I would love Washington to win this game. I just think the Ravens are going to be too strong for them.
I get that.
I also think there'll be a lot of points here, but I think the Ravens will get the majority of them. Browns, we were talking earlier, how shit the Browns are at the Eagles, who've just come off their bye week.
Eagles again aren't as good as they used to be. Another coach under pressure, Sirianni.
Yeah. I can't get the point now though. He was my tip for first one out.
I think he's massively under pressure. And if they lose to the Browns, it could be him gone. And I don't know if Bill Belichick could be ending up at the Eagles. You just never know. And that's a team ready for what he could go into. That's a fit for him, to be fair. What do you think, Belichick at Eagles?
I think there's half a dozen teams who Belichick would be a great coach.
Cowboys, you say not, but I think I've got Cowboys. But this one, I think Eagles win this. But Browns have no quarterback. They have no offense. Defense will be fine, but Eagles are just both sides of the ball a bit better.
I think Eagles off a bye week, rested. Yeah, quarterback for the Browns is crap. Got to be an Eagles win.
Eagles haven't been impressive this year, but my God, the Browns have been less impressive. Cardinals at Packers. I like this game.
What a game. You've got the Cardinals who've just beaten San Francisco in San Francisco. But then they got beat at home, hammered at home with Washington Commanders.
Who's going to turn up? Which Cardinals is going to turn up?
We don't know, do we? And Packers, Packers are young. Packers are a little bit like Cardinals because Cardinals are a young team as well, and have some good players. Packers have some good players as well. This will be a close game. Greggles, you said which Cardinals turn up, and that'd be massive. I'm going to stick my neck out here and say the Packers win this one. Going off the Cardinals, win one, lose one, win one, lose one.
I think it's going to be another high scorer. I think it's going to be very close. I think the Cardinals.
Interesting.
I think the Cardinals are just one of those teams that I can never have faith in to actually win a game that I think they're going to win. So I'm going to go for the Packers, particularly in Lambeau as well. I think
Yeah,
the Packers will do it. Colts at Titans, divisional game.
Yeah, Colts got beat last week against the Jags.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. Titans
had one of their best weeks of the season, being on a bye.
Yeah. And with momentum, I'm going to say Titans win that game. I can't trust the Colts anymore. I just can't. I don't have any faith in the Colts. Not anymore. And if the Colts win and Flacco plays, I'll wear my Flacco top next week.
I just got Will Levis.
Levis, he's questionable for next week.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Who's their
Like
backup?
every week he plays is questionable.
Who's their backup?
I was going to say it's Malik Willis, but it's not anymore, is it?
Mason Rudolph.
Oh, yeah. Of course, he played the last couple of downs, didn't he, in their last game, which they won.
I think, I don't know.
They don't win or lose if Willis plays or not.
Willis doesn't play for them anymore.
I think...
Not Willis. Who's the other one, did we say?
Will Levis.
Will Levis, sorry. Yeah, Levis. It doesn't matter if he's playing or not.
I think I'm going to go with the Colts and hope that Flacco can find some sort of consistency. It's a tough one to call all round, I think, this one.
It is. It's at Titans as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was going to say Titans, but if Mason Rudolph ends up starting this game, I can't imagine Mason Rudolph winning a game as a quarterback. But the Colts were dreadful for most of last week. Okay, I'm going for the Titans. Regardless of whether Will Levis plays or not, I think I reckon even Mason Rudolph might win this game for the Titans. Texans at Patriots.
No waffle, Texans. Although it'd be interesting to see what Drake Maye does.
Yeah.
But he can't do anything with that line.
I think
I hope he gets through it okay.
I think based off what we said before, it's going to be an interesting to see how he's. I didn't know he was a third round pick and that highly regarded, but
no, he was third overall pick.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, but yeah, I think you could probably put two quarterbacks in there and still get battered. So it's got.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think who the Patriots quarterback matters here. The Texans are a much better team than the Patriots. I think this could well be a blowout as well. Buccaneers at Saints.
This is another one. You've lost all confidence at Saints because I think they started 2-0, didn't they?
Yep.
And
they were the highest scoring team in those first two games.
Now, of course, he's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. Is Derek Carr with his oblique injury? Yes. I don't know who comes in as a Saints backup. I'm not sure who that is, but
Randall Cunningham.
Randall Cunningham. Good to see him getting a gig after all these years. And the Bucs, they're becoming one of these teams. Like the Colts, you just don't know which, and the Cardinals, you don't know which Buccaneers are going to turn up. They've got everything of the Buccaneers, but they're struggling producing it. I think this is going to be a divisional game.
It is.
Yeah, and Saints without Carr. I'm going to say Buccaneers, but I say Buccaneers all the time, and they don't do anything but Bucs for me. They've got to bounce back again.
Yeah, I think the Saints, despite that strong start, and even with or without Carr, it doesn't really matter. They've slightly been found out a little bit. Tampa Bay, we've always said they've been really consistent. They win for me.
Yeah, the Bucks fucked up last week. They lost the game that they had in the bag, and they won't be doing that again. They'll be more focused this week, and I think they'll win this fairly comfortably. I'll go for about 17 points. They'll win this by. Steelers at Raiders. A couple of top offenses on show here.
This is a snooze fest, isn't it? Didn't know they had a good start. 3-0 Steelers, weren't they?
Yeah, but at no point in those 3 games
It didn't look convincing. It wasn't convincing wins. But I'm going to go with your team this week and say they'll beat the Raiders, especially when the Raiders got smashed off the Broncos last week.
Yeah, Pittsburgh for me. Defense versus the Las Vegas offense.
I'm obviously going to predict the Steelers win this, but I think we have quite a bad record against the Raiders, particularly away against the Raiders. So I'll be very pleased if we come away from this with a win. Chargers at Broncos. I think this is tough.
This is a tough game because I think Broncos are steadily improving. I'm not saying they're good. I'm not saying that by a long shot, but I do like the Chargers head coach. Have they just come off a bye week as well?
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to get some players back for this Chargers. But can I go against Bo Nix? Who'd have thought I'd say that as well?
Well, I would, as long as you say yes.
I'm going to go for the Chargers defense over the Broncos offense. And I think Bo Nix goes back to his usual 7 for 14 for 8 yards. I think it's a well-coached defense, Chargers. Had another week with his team. Yeah, Chargers.
I am going to go with Denver. From a momentum perspective, they won 3 last 3. Chargers lost the last 2. I think that the Denver defense is better than Denver for me.
There's very little between these 2 teams.
Low score. This will be the lowest score, I reckon.
I think it could come down to coaching, and the Chargers have a better coach.
That's how I've got it. Yeah.
So I think it'll be quite low scoring, but yeah, they've just come off a bye week. He'll have a defense.
Yeah, he's got 13-10 written all over this.
It's kind of. I was actually going to say 13-10 as a score for it. So yeah, that's it. I'm going for Chargers 13-10.
Yeah, that's what I'd have gone for.
Exactly. Falcons at Panthers.
Well, Red Rooster, will he play the game, or do you think he'll get benched and Young comes in?
Does it matter?
No, you're out. Falcons.
Yeah, same.
I obviously think the Falcons will win this, but isn't this exactly the sort of game that Kirko would fuck up in?
Yes, absolutely. 4 interceptions.
The Lions at the Cowboys.
Lions
were on bye, weren't they? So they're rested. The Lions win.
Yeah, Cowboys won last week, but they weren't impressive at all. Lions off a bye week, already one of the best teams. Going to be the Lions. Bengals at Giants.
It is the late night from the game.
Okay.
Bengals. They'll score more points than Giants.
This is it's the Giants up against the Bengals defense, though. If Daniel Jones is going to fill his boots out, this is going to be the game to do it.
Yeah.
Are you going with Cincinnati? Are you guys?
Yeah, I am.
I see. I had this down as a Giants win, but
remember what happens when you don't back the Giants.
I know, and I think I hadn't realised that when you said before about how many points they'd scored for the Bengals. They seem to have a bit.
Yeah, and they've lost those games. That's what.
Yes, they have, but not against the Giants. I'm gonna go with fuck it, New York Giants. Come on, make it interesting.
Yeah, Bills at Jets.
Bills at Bills against Aaron Rodgers.
The Aaron Rodgers coached
New
York Jets.
Yeah. Listen, I was a fan of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I thought he was a great quarterback. he now seems a bit too big for his own boots, Aaron Rodgers. And he's not the Aaron Rodgers of 3, 4, 5 years ago. He's certainly on the decline. Has he still got an arm? He does. They don't have a running game, the Jets. Brees Hall steadily gets worse. Bills, they can lose this game in about another 3 divisional games and still win the division anyway. But I just can't see Bills, who's lost the last 2 games, I do believe. They don't lose this one. They finish this 4-2 and sending Jets to 2-4.
I think Buffalo, whatever metric you use, Buffalo are the better team. Both of them, I think, have lost. And I think, although the Jets probably slightly better on defensive.
Bills have been better this season by some distance. But I've got a gut feeling this is going to be one of those ones where when Aaron Rodgers is in the shit and he just pulls the performance out. Because there's loads of pressure on him to perform this week after Salah's gone. And he'll do it because he's that sort of fucking knob. I love Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback. Hate Aaron Rodgers, the person. But I've just got a gut feeling the Jets are going to do this. Has he posted them? I know he's going to send them tomorrow.
He is going to do, yeah.
The 8 that we all agree on. So San Francisco, Chicago, Eagles.
Well, I think you should back against any 6 of those 8 that we agree on.
Nailed on.
I reckon you back the other team in 6 of those and see how it goes. Because last week that would probably won you millions.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think Lefty went against all our advice and, he's won the first bet. So, yeah, he's a man to beat. The fountain of all knowledge.
Well, you say that, but...
Yeah, I'll say that now. He's not here. But, listen to him last week.
It's a fountain of piss.
He was so excited, bless him. Honestly, he was like, I can't believe it, they're throwing it away. Oh, my God, they've scored. Oh, my God, I can't believe it is down.
qbscpod@gmail.com.
I didn't actually see a lot of the games this week, so I'm not going to be able to.
No, me neither.
That's all right. Just blag it. No one will ever know.
That's what I always do. So
it's like only today.
It's not like I'm going to leave this bit in.